Hello and welcome. My name is Rob Simons, and I'm the Chicago Violin Competition's Judge Chair. And I am excited to introduce Haerim Oh, the second prize winner of the 2024 Senior Division. Welcome, Haerim.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. So first of all, where are you from and where are you based now?
So I'm from South Korea. I am currently in Philadelphia at Curtis Institute of Music, studying with Professor Midori Goto.
And where were some of the places you were before Philadelphia?
I was in Boston at New England Conservatory for my undergrad and master's, so I spent 6 years, and then I moved to Philadelphia last 2023 of
Okay.
September.
I grew up in Massachusetts and I lived there
Oh,
a few years ago. How did you like living in Boston?
I absolutely loved it.
Yes, it
Like,
is.
it is cold, but I love snow days, and yeah,
What about the cultural life in Boston? What did you get into?
it's so open and actually a population of Korean in Boston was a lot, so I didn't really have to miss all the foods or people. So that was really good part too, and then I could adjust pretty easily and quick. So it was very nice. Um, I like that I could meet a lot of different people by different countries, different backgrounds. That exposed me a lot of different cultures.
Yeah, it's an amazing city.
Yeah, yeah.
And we'll talk more about Philadelphia later in this interview. So tell us, how did you get started playing the violin? Did you have parents, or how did you get started on this instrument?
Oh, my mom used to be a pianist. She always says like, "Oh, I was never serious like you guys, so don't tell anybody I was pianist." But I always thought that she was amazing pianist. And then she used to accompany me a lot when I was playing violin until maybe like 8 or 9 years old.
Did that help? I mean, did that
Yeah.
help having her at home with you? Did she go to lessons with you?
Not many times, but yeah, she went to lesson with me and then played in the small concert, like studio concert with me. And I still have a photo with me, so that's really cute and nice memory.
That's good. What about early influences? Like, who are some of the famous violinists that you really responded to?
Oh wow. When I was really young, well, I started playing violin when I was 5, and by the time the famous people was definitely um, somebody like Kyunghwa Chung from Korea. She
Mhm.
was a huge influence, and actually, I ended up studying with her teacher in Korea. So yeah, definitely huge influence. I used to love some old recordings like Menuhin, Wilstein. That's also thanks to my mom. She already had all the LP recordings. So yeah.
Okay, so for the competition, you chose for a concerto. You played Sibelius Concerto.
Mhm.
Tell us why you chose that work.
Um, there are numbers of my favorite concertos for sure, like Brahms or Beethoven. I absolutely love those two. The Sibelius, I don't know if, from some time I really love that beginning, especially that pretty melancholic and very sentimental line. That's very unusual beginning, I would say.
I
Um,
was so impressed by your legato and how undisturbed the
oh,
line was in your playing, because there's a lot of ways to approach that piece, right? There's sometimes you
yeah.
can really be almost like a fanfare, like very soloistic, and you
Mhm.
have this really nice balance between being very present but being very placid at the same time. So what are the things what are you trying to bring out in that music?
Try to think of a image of
Mhm.
the piece. And this time when I was playing Sibelius, I was thinking about a lot of backgrounds. which about Poland history. Like when I looked up the Sibelius Concerto, the first page, especially which you were talking about, I thought about it. Kind of overlapped with Poland's historic clashes and some hard time through all of it. And when they got a little bit colonized, not really theoretically colonized, but they had really difficult time, and that actually overlapped with the first page of Sibelius. So I thought about it a lot personally too, because Korea also had a colonized time period, and we also kind of sympathize in the same way, similar way. So I thought about how the emotion will go that way, and then that really, I think it really went well with the climactic moment, very singing moment, and then very heroic moment, I think.
Wow, I didn't know. I mean, what an interesting parallel. Wow. So, on a different note, you
Yes.
chose Last Rose of Summer.
Oh, yeah, it's very different.
So, tell us about playing and preparing repertoire like that, especially given who your teacher is and
Oh,
maybe has the greatest of all time recording of that. What's it like preparing that piece and perhaps with her guidance?
um, yeah, that recording, it was the first recording I've seen from her, actually. I remember I was watching that recording. I mean, she was playing in the Carnegie Hall when she was, I think, 18, with the purple dress, one of the most famous one. um, and I was actually really nervous for my first lesson with her. That piece, I really tried to play correctly. Then, and actually she said, "Oh, it's very nice, well played, but in a square box, and it should be it is a part one of the showy piece, and show your um brilliant aspect, and how you're flawless in technical aspect. And if you're in the square box, you can never really express or show it. And you cannot be shy, and you need to be bold, and you just need to go for it. Whatever you're thinking about, you need to just be 200% sure, not doubting about, and oh, am I right or wrong? Like, there isn't any time for that. Just if you're thinking of it, if you do have idea, just go for it. So that really always helped me to get out of my own perspective, my own practice mode, but just more performance mode, and show to the audience.
Right. So, Haerim, that brings me to my next question, which is when you're thinking about preparing repertoire, presenting repertoire for a competition, some people might say that you might choose repertoire that's very safe.
Yes.
So you know that you have a better batting average to get through it. But you're obviously not taking that. How do you think about what you select for when you perform in a competition versus when you perform for an audience?
I prefer to have a piece. I do have a story. I do have personal attachment, and I really try to choose a piece. I cannot get tired of it, because I know that I will need to practice certain amount of time to make it sound good. um, so the Last Rose of Summer, I do have a memory. Looking at Midori Goto's recording, but also I have a memory with my grandma when I was very young. I think that was when I was 13 or 14, and my grandma just came to my house, our parents' house, and then she was wondering what I was practicing these days, and something like that. And then my grandma was just born and raised in Korea. She traveled sometimes Western country, but basically doesn't really have any influence by other country, especially Western countries.
Mhm.
And then when I played through the Last Rose of Summer for her because that's what I was practicing. And then she recognized the piece because that's Irish folk song based on. And then somehow she heard that song, the theme, somewhere when she was very young. So she was singing the theme. So
Wow.
that's very sweet memories as well. So when I have those kinds of memory with the piece, it is painful piece to practice, but with that memories, I can just practice because I do have some meanings to it.
That's great. Well, you've introduced me to two very cross-cultural ways of thinking about this repertoire. So, what kind of advice would you have, Hiram, for younger violinists that are trying to play at this level, to want to compete, who want to go to New England Conservatory, who want to go to Curtis? What kind of advice would you give?
Um, it's also personal advice to my childhood, I guess, because I also had to face so many stress and anxiety and being nervous for auditions and competitions, and then especially when I learn a piece for auditions or competitions, I just go crazy and think, oh, what if I can't play this passage, and what if I don't get in this place or that place. um but maybe this is boring kind of advice, but I think always trust yourself, and then just trust that you spent hours and hours to make beautiful music. And then being nervous means it's always because you care so
Mhm.
much. You care about music, violin, whatever you're playing right now, your path, your passion. So even if you're so stressed right now because you were working on it so hard, it will go, it will pass, and then you will have very bright moments in your life.
I love
That's
that. Trust yourself and look for the bright moments in life. So, thinking back, now thinking forward, how do you see your career taking shape over the next few years?
oh, I I am trying to play both of solo repertoires and chamber repertoires because I just love actually just both of them, and I cannot really take apart and divide two things.
Mhm.
I am personally trying to have some projects, recitals, or like competitions. I try to be there, and for chamber music side, I try to plan and have a regular concert series with my friends and have a um, chamber concert.
So, what things might you have coming up soon with those?
So personally, I will have graduation recital at Curtis in coming semester.
Will that be broadcast? Will that be streamed?
Oh yeah, actually yes.
What's the date?
Oh, I don't have the dates yet.
Okay.
We're just currently working on it, but maybe I should post it.
Okay, yeah, please do. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, and then we had couple concert series with Music for Food last year and year before. So we um we are trying to schedule maybe two or three concerts, basically in Boston or and New York, and we try to work with Music for Food, so the money, the funding can go to Women's Lunch Place, which the place really needs money and donation
Mhm.
people. So yeah, we're trying to make concerts more fruitful and joyful all together.
So I'm using music for social justice. That's fantastic. So congratulations again on this
You.
award and on all the great playing. It's remarkable performances. Again, I'd like to thank Haerim, the second prize winner of the 2024 Senior Division. Subscribe and follow CVC to hear more of her playing, to see her mini masterclass and day in the life video. And thanks for tuning in, and tune in for more.